What's going on? It's Connor from the Dolphins Dive, and in today's video, we are going to be breaking down what just happened in preseason week 1 against the Buccaneers. We're going to go over the top players, some plays that stood out, and everything like that. So before I get into today's video, I'm just going to do a quick little shout out to my shop that I'm opening up called thedolphinsdive.com. I'm going to pull it up right here on this screen. We only have 2 designs currently. As you can see, Mike McDaniel, McLovin. If you've seen Superbad, you know the reference. If you haven't seen Superbad, click off this video and watch it now. I think it's a pretty fun reference, especially considering McDaniel's personality. I think it's just a funny little play on it. And then I have this 2-at-a-time design. Comes in 3 different colors. You can get it on a shirt, sweatshirt, anything that you'd be interested in. I'm also running a giveaway on my Twitter. So if you're interested in any of that, feel free to check out the site. It'll be linked down below. Also, like I said, check out my Twitter. I'm running a giveaway where you can get a free shirt. So if you're interested in that, awesome. If not, so be it. I'm going to get into today's video. Also, I have one of the mugs right here. It's honestly pretty good quality. And it's just funny. I like it. I rep it. So without further ado, let's get straight ahead into today's video. And the first note I have is I'm in love with the offensive play designing. And this is literally, I wrote it down after the first play on offense where Skylar Thompson faked the pitch, booted out the other way, and then had the completion to Mike Gesicki. This level of misdirection forces the defense to be on their P's and Q's, and it creates so much. You force them to have eye discipline, but it could lead them to being a step late to where they're supposed to be because they're focused on not trying to over pursue. So it opens up both lanes, and it's very, very tricky for defenses to try and stop. And then it also opens up the play action game, as we saw yesterday. Like, we were not able to run the ball successfully, but we still had play action game. So now pair that when we are able to run the ball, and it's going to be a nightmare for defenses to try and stop, especially with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So the play designing is as expected. I think it's going to be a very, very fun offense to watch finally for Dolphins fans. We haven't had that in a little bit. Genuinely, I don't know the last exciting offense we got to see. You could argue Jarvis Landry back in 2016, but even then it wasn't all that good, but I digress. I'm going to go into basically probably the player of today's game. I didn't highlight one specific guy, but Skylar Thompson played his ass off. Played all 4 quarters as a rookie. And he moved the ball up and down the field pretty successfully. And the thing is, he does very, very well for this game. He doesn't really deviate from what he's supposed to do. If nothing's there, hit the check down. There were some instances in which he held on to the ball a little too long, especially when it was hot with blitzes. But overall, I would say Skylar had a very, very good day. And he's shown his worth, and he might sneak onto the 53-man roster. Now, generally, carrying a third quarterback isn't necessarily ideal, but Skylar Thompson's got value. He's not going to stay on our practice squad. Someone else will scoop him up because he's got that kind of talent. So let him grow and develop on the roster, and maybe trade him someday. Maybe he ends up being our quarterback. I'm not saying that's what I want or that will happen, but it doesn't hurt to have growing depth on the back end. So Skylar played very well. Future appears to be bright. People are comparing him to Kirk Cousins with how when Washington took him in the 3rd round, he backed up for all those years. Honestly, he'd be a fine backup, but we also got Teddy, so I'll keep him moving. Next person I have listed down was Larnelle Coleman. He struggled. He got absolutely destroyed on one of his first pass protection looks. But I'm not going to lie, I didn't really notice him doing bad afterwards. I didn't notice him doing good. But I'm saying I saw him get blown up on the one play and didn't see anything negative after. So overall, though, I would say it's a concern for him to be if he's our primary backup left tackle, especially with Teron Armstead's injury history. With that said, I think if Armstead were to unfortunately go down, you probably slide Dieter to left guard, or you could either slide Dieter to center, Connor Williams left guard, Eichenberg left tackle, or any variation like that. I don't think you have to worry about Larnelle Coleman playing left tackle, hopefully. The next person I've written down is Darius Hodge. He's the one who forced the fumble before halftime. He was flying off the edge all game, and he showed up pretty well. Once again, another back-end guy that might be able to sneak into the roster at the outside backer position. once again, uphill climb for him, but he might be able to sneak in. Good back end. I think it's unlikely, but like I said, he showed out yesterday pretty well, so who knows. Now this person, he's been balling out all of training camp. He might have solidified himself in his role. Keon Crossing, not only playing extremely well in coverage, but he filled the run really, really well yesterday. I think it was on the third down. That should have been short for fourth down, but they gave him the first anyway. But he blew up a guy filling the run, which I was like, damn, he's a corner. But he still did it. And then he had a nice play in pass coverage as well. And he's been showing out all camp. With Trill Williams unfortunately going down, I think Keon probably has claimed the outside boundary slot, if I had to guess, like the number one backup spot. Because it's really between him or Noah if Trill's down, unfortunately. So I think Keon's showed out very, very well. Next guy, I was very, very happy to see him have a very good game yesterday, and Lynn Bowden Jr. He had that nice touchdown from Thompson where I couldn't tell the coverage because the instant replay really didn't show the coverage. They just showed the same play. But it looked like he just cooked his man running a double move and then was wide open. And he had a couple other nice long catches after that. And not only that, he also fielded punts and kicks, which only benefits his value for potentially making this roster. This is a guy that seemed on the outs at the beginning of camp, but he's slowly been steadily working, and he's got a chance. I really hope he does make the roster. I think we all know how dynamic Lynn Bowden can be and the relationship he has with Tua and obviously some other people on the team as well. And like I said, he provides value in offense and special teams. He can play in multiple positions. So I would like for him to be able to stay on the roster, but like I said, it's going to be tough because we have so many people, and it comes down to what kind of roles do you need rather than the best receiver, because we have so many, I would say, like smaller, shifty guys, but we don't have a lot of big, strong guys that can maybe run block more. So it's kind of comes down to what they need. I hope Lynn Bowden is what they need because he's a stud. Next guy I have written down is Tanner Connor, tight end. He had a very, very solid game yesterday, and he's been practicing very well as well. He's a tight end, but used to be a receiver, so he transitioned. And I think he clocked out at like 20 miles per hour yesterday, which was really fast, especially for the position. So I haven't been keying in on specific people. Obviously, there's too many. But if his blocking is on the echelon or better than Mike Gesicki's, then there's a chance that this man could sneak into the roster because he flies open. He's extremely athletic for the position. So if he's able to run block, then there's a chance he could sneak onto the roster. Like I said, uphill climb. You got Durham Smythe, Gesicki, Ethan Carter, Hunter Long. So it seems unlikely, especially for a guy that probably, just based off the fact that he used to be a receiver, I'm betting he's not the best run blocker, but neither is Gesicki. And Gesicki, I mean, I haven't been able to dial in on people, but if Gesicki hasn't successfully been run blocking, there's a chance he could be moved. I know it's unfortunate, but like that's the bottom line. This offense needs tight ends that can block, and if he's not able to provide that, then they might look in a different direction. I've got two more people on this list. Next up is Elijah Campbell. I believe he's a safety. I think he's a safety, not a corner, but he's an extremely great special teamer. But he did a great job playing defense yesterday as well. He lit up the guy and then also proceeded to pick the ball with his legs. And I just noticed him flying around. He's a very, very good athlete, and he flies around the field. So, once again, I think this is a guy that probably makes the roster simply for special teams prowess. But if he can provide value like that defensively, that only benefits us. And the last guy I have written down is Cam Good. He had a very good game shedding the edge and making sure nothing got outside of him. But the biggest thing that stood out to me and why I wrote his name down was he was just flying around the field with playing with relentless effort, and that's something that this defense extremely values. Running to the ball at all times, like this mother fluffer was running nonstop, and I noticed that, so that's why he made the list as well. 7th round pick, I believe, out of Cal. So there's a good chance he might make the roster too. That there's some openings at the backup outside linebacker spots between like them, him, Hodge, maybe Brendan Scarlett as well. So is Brendan Scarlett still a Dolphin? I think he is. Honestly, he might not be. I thought he was. But that's today's video. Let me know if I snubbed anyone. Let me know what you enjoyed from the preseason game. Like I said, if you want to check out my merch shop, dolphinsdive.com, it's going to be in the description down below. Appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you.